Morbius is the greatest DC movie in the whole MCU. Never before have we seen vampires on the big screen before, and in a way that makes audiences go, wow, have I seen Morbius? What kind of question is that? Of course I forked out over 13 quid of my real money to watch this masterpiece on Google Play Movies. Everybody who's anybody did. Why else would they release the movie twice in cinemas? Duh! Morbius, as I'm sure we all know, follows Mr. Mickey Morb as he grows up cursed with the necessity to morb exactly every 31 days after a full moon. It's a terrible curse that came about during his childhood years after coming in contact with a vat of morb energy that latched onto him like venom. But venom is a totally separate IP that only kinda sort of attaches to this DC movie. Thankfully, Mickey Morphsuit has his best friend and co-host in the Morb games later on in life in Matt Smith's fictional character Prince Philip, who alongside his powerful face-changing wife helps Michael live as comfortable a life as he can at the vampire orphanage during the early moments of the film. In fact, a solid third of the movie is set inside the same building where Morbius comes to terms with this horrendous curse and this shockingly low-quality dental facilities in these facilities. He's an anti-hero, as would come to any normal guy who was infected by this morb virus, feeling both a desire to help other orphans like himself from ever having to handle the disadvantages of the system he was raised in, whilst just having that dog in him all the time, that's just dying to get out sometimes. I mean, he's got the teeth for it, so of course he'd have an inclination for human flesh, but I'm getting ahead of myself. We're all here to talk about the scene that truly changed Morbius. The scene that stands above the rest for flipping the narrative of Morbian friends from one that had people casting doubts the first time they saw it in cinemas to actively jumping on their feet come round to the second viewing. And that, of course, is in the Fantastic Four scene that happens about 2/3 of the way into the movie. It starts out with Captain America bursting into flames and promptly dying, before Rockman endures the same fate, but entirely differently, as he's drowned in a lake 3 years ago. Mr. Fabulous was already spaghettified in the previous installment of Doctor Strange, as we all know. This is common knowledge for all viewers of the Warner Brothers multi-dimensional Lego universe, so they were never in this segment of the timeline in the first place. As for Invisiwoman, well, I probably shouldn't have to explain why she wasn't making an appearance. She's invisible. Anyway, upon witnessing the vanishment of the Thunky 3, Morbius steps in his anti-hero ways, wanting to take down the bad guy that just destroyed the Incredibles ripoff, whilst of course still being kinda anti. And so he does so in the only way he can, taking a book out of his good friend the Doctor and stealing the identity of the people he meets. Yes, it's the moment he finally gets his superhero catchphrase figuratively and literally atop the body of the guy he's stealing it from, with "It's morbing time." The dude, of course, can't really shoot him down for copyright infringement because he doesn't have a gun. And through sheer Disney profits alone, the enemy is vamooshed away to 7 movies from here. This is a problem for whatever the hell movie they have rolled up 18 months from now. But of course, though this can be deemed as Morbi's first official victory and a defining moment of identity theft for the man-turned-slightly powerfuler man, there is, of course, Matt Smith to handle next, as the context I didn't give it in between the synopsis and this scene is the fact that childhood friend Daemon Targaryen is also revealed to be a Morb being, and has since used this power to haunt Anya Taylor-Joy in mirrors for some sick reason. Jared Leto must now make a choice between good and bad, choosing whether to stand up against his childhood friend in order to really stand up to the name of anti-hero that this new pedestal has given him, or make those damn 30 Second to Mars music videos again. I don't know which way is the hero and which is the anti. And like all good storytelling, the climax of the movie rushes in to be the very next scene, as it's the Joker and his million knives and Jacob Dudman. Sorry, Matt Smith couldn't make it to the final act of Morbius Into the Morbiverse, because Matt Smith had other greater projects to be working on. Or so his agent says. And after some of, I think we can all agree, the most emotional dialogue ever heard on the big screen, with the likes of Milo and "Remember when we were orphans? We still are, Morbicus." Eventually, Morbman manages to bring his best friend down after nearly destroying the universe with his ability to levitate and use TikTok filters. And together, they walk off into the sunset, arm around each other's shoulder, before falling into the lake and promptly dying alongside Mr. Clogger, bringing us full circle to the birth of Morbius as an IP and a beautiful, angelic end. Prince Philip's wife would then go on to be queen for 70 years out of pure spite. This lake would become the hotspot of magical powers for when 3 teenage Australian girls fall into it one evening, the Joker's avatar state would regenerate into a new vessel as a child was being born somewhere at the exact same time of death, while the Doctor himself would regenerate right here. The final betrayal of friends that allows the Morbius franchise to continue ever further. And from there, all was House of Gucci, with the post-credit scene showing us Hawks from My Hero Academia for some stupid reason. But we like to forget about that. And that was the scene that changed Morbius, clearly. Did I watch the movie for £13.99? Of course! Why would you ask such a question? But if there's one thing for sure, it's that we were all just very busy that first showing, and cannot wait to be busy again next time they choose to put Mr. Method Actor Jared Let Go of My Used Condom back on the big screen. For now, I'd best end it off here. This was a very stupid idea that I have thoroughly regretted putting any inkling of effort into. My name's been Dazz, you didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit. Happy April Fools.